Welcome to Wealthwise with Chris Maggi, and also I'm here with Reed Nichols. Glad to be here. Love doing this show, educate a lot of you out there, and I got co-host Tony Shore with us today. So glad to be here, Tony.
Oh, I'm really happy to be on your show today, especially because we've got a very special guest host with you,
Mhm.
Reed Nichols. I'm looking forward to hearing more about Reed and hearing what he has to offer for our listeners and viewers today. But
Mhm.
seriously, thanks for having me on the show. I know you guys are busy there at Maggie Tax and Wealth Advisors, and you have time for the Wealthwise show each week. I hope our listeners will subscribe. They can subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. They
Mhm.
can go to your website and listen to the show. So there's any of their favorite podcasting platforms, and then they'll get new episodes each week, or just go to your website and check it out. That's maggietax.com. But the
Mhm.
show today is going to be a good one. I love the title you guys came up with, Feedback That Fuels Financial Success. We all want
Mhm.
that, right? But
Yep.
first, I want to find out how you guys are doing. Chris, what's going on in your life right now? Besides,
Well, I'll
I
tell you
mean, you're
this.
busy.
Yeah, busy. I mean, kids are back at school, so first week of school was success. Success.
Yeah.
Kids are still going. That's good news, right? But at the end of the day, no, that's all good. So they're dialed in on the education, just like we do with our clients. Education is so important. So when we it's a great segue into this. We're doing reviews, we're doing first appointments, we're doing educational seminars, workshops. My gosh, there's so much there that we're delivering to our clients, and that's why we do this. And a lot of our clients have traveled over the summer and back, and what are they doing now? They just need to get part of like a review, and so we're going to talk about today um, fuel success, right? The information you need. We're going to talk about reviews and how important it is to get that review, and also stay abreast on new information that's out there.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And Reed, you're going to contribute to that and let us know some more about that. But Reed, I'm not letting you off the hook.
All right.
What have you been doing for fun lately?
A little bit of traveling this summer. Took
Nice.
a trip across the pond to Spain. And then, like
Wow.
Chris said, no kids yet, but I do coach some hockey. So hockey season's starting. We had our first practices this week. Shout out Clearwater Ice Storm. So hopefully our season we have a good one. And yeah, looking forward to everything that's coming in the next few months.
I should have guessed you were a hockey guy. You look like a hockey guy. I'm from Minnesota, so we are the state of hockey up here. Hockey is kind of
Okay.
a way
Yep.
of life, and I saw the hair. I should have known you were a hockey guy. The flow,
Ah,
you got the flow, you got the flow
thank you.
going. Yeah, yeah, regular Wayne Gretzky over here. I love that.
I wouldn't go
Um,
that far, but I'll take it.
it's funny you say you went to Spain. My daughter, my middle daughter, my oldest daughter, my middle child, literally just flew out this morning to Spain from Minneapolis.
Wow.
She's headed to Spain to spend
Very
Very
the
cool.
cool.
yeah. She's going to Barcelona and then
That's where we were.
yeah, and then she's going. They're going to travel a couple of other spots in Spain. But she double majored accounting and Spanish, so she
Very
speaks
nice.
Spanish. And her boyfriend's over there for a conference. He works for the University of Minnesota in the lab doing research. So they're having a big conference over there. So
Very nice.
get to stay for free at least for part of the time during the conference. That's good, but that's neat. And Reed or Chris, you can introduce Reed Reed.
Yeah.
You can tell us what you do over there. Tell our listeners
Sure. Go
what
ahead,
you're
Reed.
doing.
Yeah, so these client reviews are a big part of my role here on the Maggie team. Kind of a diverse thing. I help out wherever I can, but these reviews, I would say, are a major part of it. So bringing people in on a regular basis, going over their financial plan, making sure it's up to date. Anything new that's occurring, we try to get them just going on a new path if that's what they need. And but yeah, that's the majority of everything.
And I
That's
also could
awesome.
add to not only he's a hockey player, but he's really good with working with clients and very professional. He has his insurance license, so he's very knowledgeable in a lot of aspects. So we're glad to have him on the team.
Thanks,
That's
Chris.
awesome.
Hmm.
Well, Chris, where do you want to start the discussion today?
Well, what's the topic, Tony? Let's go over the topic again. Let's say
Yep.
that out loud because it has a lot to do with what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, feedback that can fuel your financial success. And what do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So feedback, we all want feedback, right? Whether it's good or bad, that's how we grow. So the feedback is that when we do reviews, yeah, everyone out there who is not a client of Maggie Tax and Wealth Advisors, you definitely want to get a second opinion. So we seek that. We want people to get a second opinion. We always talk about this with all our clients. We do tax planning, tax preparation, ways to help you reduce your taxes because those are our biggest expense. Insurance planning, income planning, investment planning, estate planning, all that good stuff. But you're never too old. This is your money. You need to make sure that you have the right buckets in place. So when we put together our buckets for our clients, we want to make sure that they get reviewed, and we want to make sure that if things change in the future or in the past, whatever it is, that they're updated. We see checking accounts all the time in, time out. We talked about this at our meeting this morning. Clients open up an account, they put $20,000 at a bank, and guess what? They don't title it the right way, or there's no transfer on death or paid on death forms to make sure it avoids probate. We see IRAs get transferred from 401ks to IRAs, and guess what? The beneficiary form, there's none. My gosh, countless times we've seen this. So feedback for financial success is right there. You need to get educated, and we can help you.
Yeah. That's awesome, and this is somewhat what you do for clients there, right, Reed?
Yes, yes. And so a big part of what we do here at Maggie Tax and Financial Services is that financial plan. But the thing with a financial plan is it's never a set it and forget it kind of thing. So as life goes on, life changes, maybe some grandkids. Now you've got to update that will and trust, all sorts of things. We ran into a situation last week where some clients came in, and unfortunately, they had a son and a daughter both pass away. So that's something that's going to need to be updated on their wills or their trust. And along with beneficiaries, they're going to need to make some beneficiary changes on their accounts. So there's all sorts of aspects that go into that financial plan, and life is going to change, whether it's in this year or it's in 5 years. We're going to need to reevaluate and make sure everybody's on the right path.
That's great. That's great. So, obviously, people need to understand. A lot of people set it and forget it, right? Maybe they come in for a plan and then forget all about it, or blow off future appointments with their financial advisor, or they just don't look at things. They think, okay, here's what I'm doing. I've got a 401k or an IRA, and then they don't regularly review it, and that's a costly mistake, isn't it?
Sure is. I mean, look, we're all busy, right? You're busy. I'm busy. Clients are busy.
Right.
Life's happening. I got 2 kids. I can see when they were babies, and now they're, evolving. And but we got things that we're doing, and so life's happening. But what's really important is you're working hard and you're putting things away, and you got these accounts. We call them piles of money. And when you work with us, we create buckets of money that are really, really important and designed with a purpose. And just can't forget it and set it, right? You got to go ahead and have active. But when we put together our plans for clients, they're actively managed, and they're watched. And that's why when we do a review, it's very simple. And that's why we call it the Maggie plan. It's a plan that's simple and easy for you to understand. So if you're out there and you're listening to this podcast today and your advisor's not giving you the education or the reviews, then pick up the phone and schedule a time to meet with us, because you never know. There's better opportunities. Taxes are changing, legislative risk. It goes on and on. You need to make sure that you're ahead of the game. And Roth conversions, there's a perfect time right now. Taxes are on sale. So these beneficiary reviews, the feedback that we're talking about here that fuels your success, is huge.
Yeah, and let's go over you mentioned a few there. So some people might be intimidated by a review or going in to talk to you about where they're at. Some people are afraid to see where they're at. They think I'll stick my head in the sand, or I'm busy, so I don't want to think about it. But they might be pleasantly surprised. So you guys are saying regular meetings are good, and what's covered in there? You do beneficiary reviews, you mentioned. You do asset allocation, or the buckets, different buckets of money, and you look, because that balance gets off, right? Let's say somebody has a number of different portfolios, but maybe the stocks they've gone way up and hit record highs the last 4 or 5 years. Maybe they need to rebalance from some of
Mhm.
that money in the stock market with more safety. Maybe they used to be had a 60-40, but now they're more like at a 90-10, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could talk about
Something to
that. I
look
mean,
at,
when you
right?
see, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, things are always changing for people. When they come in for these reviews, we like to go over everything, whether it's the estate planning, the retirement planning, income planning. Maybe these people, they're in retirement already and they've set up their plan and they went on a cruise this year and they said, hey, I want to do a lot more cruises next year. So what can we work with them on getting a little bit more income year after year and setting them up to where they're able to enjoy their retirement to the max?
Yep.
And so maybe it's the opposite way. Maybe they've gotten to the age where they're like, hey, we've been traveling throughout our 60s, but now we're 75 and we can't really do that anymore. How do we tone it back and leave our legacy to our kids so that way we can see them kind of reap the benefits of what we've done?
Yeah, I think that's really good. Um, yeah, and it's funny you should mention that because it's different stages, different
Mhm.
types of reviews, and you're looking at different things. And life happens, right? There are life
Mhm.
changes as we get older. There are births of grandchildren. There are deaths in the family.
Yep.
There's estate planning to look at, as you mentioned earlier, legacy planning. So that's got to be a part of the review.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that, there's marriages, there's divorces, so many things can happen throughout life as we go through our retirement. It's good to have that reviewed or even preparing for retirement. How often would you guys recommend people have a financial checkup or review?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a loaded question. I think it varies. And the reason I say that and I hesitate when I answer that question is because I know what we do on our side. There's different advisors out there. There's advisors that they're more transactional. They sell product. So then it's really up to you because every time you go meet with the advisor, they're looking to sell you something. That's what we'd feel you don't want
Right.
because we don't operate that way. We do more advising and complete planning and making sure that our whole team is always actively managing your money and doing all that good stuff. So even though you don't meet with us as often, your buckets are watched and looked at, right? Whereas some advisors, that's not the case.
Hmm.
So if you have an advisor that's operating like we are, complete planning and as a fiduciary doing the best thing for their clients and more active management, then meeting with the advisor doesn't really have to happen that often. But also, too, you definitely want to be in control, and you want to make sure that if you have questions, that's why you pick up the phone and schedule a time to meet with your advisor. But I would definitely, once a year, absolute the minimum. You have questions at our firm. We keep the door open, meaning that anytime you have a question, you want to go buy a house, you want to sell a house, you want to take money out of an IRA, or you want to do a loan, whatever you're going to be thinking about a business, call us. Do nothing. Just pick up the phone, call us. Let's talk through that. Then we can pivot to where it makes sense for you in the most tax advantage way, depending on your assets, and also make sure everything stays in the family if anything happened to you.
Yeah. And these meetings, the reason we're talking about it can lead to financial success, you want to
Mhm.
get the feedback because it really can save you from making costly mistakes. If you ignore something, it might cost you. And there are really huge financial advantages to this. Updating beneficiary designations,
Mhm.
things like that, rebalancing your portfolios and those buckets of money
Yeah.
and looking at your tax situation. That's a big part of all of this too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So once a year minimum, you want to get together and Reed, you help coordinate that and set these things up and look at these reviews. I think that's critical. And you guys have a great team. It's a team effort over there. And people need to realize from taxes to wealth management to asset allocation to retirement planning to retirement income planning and
Mhm.
legacy and estate planning. You have it all under one roof, and I love how you call it the Maggie plan. I mean, I want
Mhm.
shirts. I want a nice stitched quarter zip or polo that just says the Maggie plan, and I want a hat, a baseball cap that says the Maggie plan.
Oh
We need
man,
to we need to get logos made for that, right?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the best part about the Maggie plan is that it's always customizable. So,
Mhm.
like we were saying, yeah, at least a 1 year review is necessary, but Some people, they might need 4 reviews in a certain year. Some people, maybe they're very diligent with their accounts and they want a monthly update. It's nothing crazy. We can do it over the phone, but at least they're kind of staying in the realm of what's going on in their financial situation. Some people are fine just trusting us with everything. And they're like, you know what, that was great, but we'll see you next year. So it's really just a case by case basis. But that's what's awesome about the Maggi plan. Whatever you've got, we can figure out a solution to it.
I love that. I love that. And yeah, I need a big boy size when you order those
Are you
shirts.
pushing me here? Are you telling me something? I need an email. Let me know, and I can execute.
Yeah, I will shoot. I'll shoot Bobby an email and
There
tell him
you
what needs
go.
to happen. We'll just put it on him. Yeah, he's got the time. Chris, you're too busy.
That's right. You got it,
No.
Tony. I appreciate you acknowledging that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So is there anything else here we need to know? I mean, obviously if people are out there and they haven't met with, if they met with an advisor but haven't for a few years, it's time. If they
Yeah.
don't have a plan in place, a full retirement income plan or a plan for the different buckets of money as they get older, they need that plan. How do they do this?
Great question. Well, you can visit our website, maggietax.com. Pick up the phone. We have offices on both sides of the bay. Very convenient for you to get in touch with us. And I always talk about this. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night. I got questions. Thoughts are going through my head. I don't want to disrupt my sleep time, but sometimes it's on my mind. And I bet there's a lot of people out there that are concerned about: am I going to run out of money? What's my income plan? What about my investments? Do I have in the right allocation? You mentioned allocation before. Things have changed in my life. What about estate planning? Is my will or trust up to? Do I even have one? Oh my gosh, what do I do with my house? These are all types of questions that people are thinking about. We wrote a couple of books: Stop Funding Uncle Sam's Retirement, the Maggi Plan, get a plan that's simple and easy to understand. My gosh, clients, we can write a book about clients and questions and what comes in our office and the things that come out of their mouth in a good way and concerns that many, many people are having.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at this, that, a client last week has $10 million. And you know what their biggest concern was? Tony, if I asked you, what's their biggest concern was?
Oh, be able to earn on that money?
That not that. It was, am I going to run out of money? They were worried about outliving their money, and that was the biggest thing.
Even at $10 million.
$10 million.
They
And
must live a lifestyle like Reed's. I mean, they must have some kind of Reed Nichols type lifestyle going on.
You got it. Going to
Yeah.
Barcelona
Yeah,
and
you have
traveling.
trips left and right.
Yeah. Trips overseas, too many. Yeah, I hear that's usually for a normal, the average American who's looking at retirement, their concern is running out of money in retirement. That's always the number one concern with most people. But I think if I had $10 million to retire on, I don't, that wouldn't be a concern. We think that, but it all depends. Some people can make it in retirement on $500,000. Some people are going to need $5 million to maintain a lifestyle or achieve their goals. So everybody's situation is different, right?
That's it. And if you come in, we do bucket planning. Reed can jump on this for a minute, but he knows that when we do bucket planning for our clients, when you have an account with a purpose, that could be your income producer, that you don't even need to touch the rest of your assets. And he just didn't know, because he didn't know what he could do. And that's why we educated him and we taught him. And then he said, man, this is great. How do we do this?
Yeah. So the bucket planning, we call them red, green, and yellow buckets. So it's kind of your never money, your now money, and your later money. So when clients come to us and maybe they need X amount of dollars every month coming in, so where can we put that to where they're able to draw on that money, keep it liquid, keep it growing, and then where can we put the later down the road money to where that's just going to keep accumulating in value, keep adding to their account, and then at some point in the farther future, that's when they can access that. Maybe that's just a legacy play, so they just want to build it in the most tax efficient way and just leave that to their heirs, so that way their heirs have something to go on to.
That's awesome. Well, you guys have given so much great information already today. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we end the show?
think
I got to
we're
find
good
out how to
go.
get those shirts. That's what I got to
Yeah.
figure
Yeah,
out.
you're
And a
gonna
hat.
have to get we'll have to have a logo design, the Maggie plan,
There you go.
the Maggie plan. And I need a baseball hat that says the Maggie plan on it. And by the way, for our listeners out there and viewers, go to maggietax.com for more information on anything that has been discussed today. MAGGI tax.com. Is the web address. They can listen to this show, past shows, and you guys have so much information on financial planning. Everything you do there, there's videos, there's resources, and you can set up that no charge, no obligation consultation with the team, right?
That's
Yeah.
it. You got it. You're
All
picking
right.
up
Come
what
and
we're
see
putting
us.
down. You got it.
Yeah.
All right. And so if our listeners do want to get a hold of you, besides the website, what's the phone number they can call to set that
Yeah,
up?
833 Maggie Tax. It's in the top left-hand corner here. 833 Maggie Tax, MAGGITAX. So just reach out, get a second opinion, come on in. We don't bite, as you can see. Sometimes. But no, we're here to help you. You know, we enjoy doing what we do. It's a passion. It's from the heart.
Excellent.
You know, there's a lot of cool things that people need to be aware of. We can help.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to give people feedback that can lead to financial success. And that's what it's all about. And you want a happy, long retirement. I think it's fantastic. A lot of good info. Again, the website is maggietax.com. That's MAGGI tax.com. And that does it for today's episode of Wealthwise with our host, the man himself, Chris Maggi, and our special guest, Reed Nichols.
Thanks for
Thanks for
having
having
me.
us.